opportunities for local businesses to participate in supporting the plant once it is in operation. Heating, AC services, plumbing.
Public input on the private development agreement that Bryce has just explained. And again, the rules, we'll start with folks from Wright County, and then we'll move to folks in adjacent counties, and then folks that are further out than that. We have one change today. Bryce, our intern here, will be our timekeeper today. Bryce, remember our speeches? Blake, I said. I called him Nathan for a while, but Blake, did I say Blake? Blake, all right. I'm going to write that down. No. Blake is a recent graduate and will be attending Creighton University in a couple of weeks, I think. Yeah, good for you, Blake. So Blake will be doing that. He'll raise his hand when we hit the 10-second mark, and then he'll tell me, and then you can wrap up your remarks in the 2-minute period. So I will open this hearing, and it is 9:32. Okay, so Betty, who do we have first?
Okay, first we're going to have Harold Trask, and then Christy Froling, and then Clarence Wildy. So
okay.
Harold Trask, please.
Great. Go Harold.
Morning. Thank you.
Morning.
You want to push the middle button?
There you go.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to be here, third generation from Wright County, and my son Matt is at home, fourth generation. I want to thank you for this opportunity, and I also want to thank the veterans and those that are in harm's way today for this opportunity to be here to talk. I was here last week on Monday, and there was some good conversation. CAFOs came up. CAFOs are confined animal feeding operations, and they basically talk about all of livestock in the state of Iowa, including pigs, cattle, chickens, etc., that are of a certain size. I want to talk about something else, so I'm going to make this very brief, but they are very defined by the state laws, and I actually helped write House File 594 and House File 2394, which defines these things, confined animal feeding operations. The main thing everyone needs to take away from this is Iowa has a zero discharge law. And so it is illegal for any manure from any confined animal feeding operation to reach a body of water in the state of Iowa. And so farmers that are in the livestock industry, including all of the hog farmers, chicken farmers, etc., in the state of Iowa, including Wright County, are confined by these laws and rules and regulations. We all want to live here. We all want to drink the water. My son wants to drink the water. My grandkids want to drink the water. And so we're very, very protective of that. One thing in this hearing I have not really heard about, and which is very important to me, and I'm getting up in years and should be retired, but I still love to farm and do the things that I'm doing, so I still do it. Change is the only thing that is in constant in our lives. And I appreciate the Wright County Board of Supervisors picking out Prestige Farms, because if you look at their track record in the Carolinas and in Iowa, they are very good to do business with, and we need to change to go forward.
Thank you, Harold. Okay. Who's next, Betty?
Christy Froling, and then we'll have Clarence Wildy and Ron Swanson.
Okay.
I'm Christy Froling.
Okay.
I've been a resident of Wright County for 35 years. I am opposed to the slaughterhouse being proposed for Wright County. I don't think $13 an hour is a living wage for this type of work. It's dangerous work with long hours, not to say very unpleasant work. I don't care how ergonomically safe or how much automated equipment you plan to use. We're talking about 1,000 hogs processed an hour. Meatpacking jobs are the most dangerous jobs in the U.S. Every year, 25 out of 100 workers suffer an injury that requires medical attention. This is 3 times higher than the average U.S. factory. I worked at Electrolux in Webster City for 32 years. When they left, I was making $18 an hour plus benefits, and that did not include overtime. I was protected by the union and was a proud member of the local 442. And the next point is, why aren't we calling the shots here? Prestige is desperate to locate in Iowa, anywhere that will put up with them. Why should we give back millions of tax dollars? Why don't we demand that they pay our workers at least $18 an hour? Disability insurance should go into effect immediately for inexperienced workers starting there instead of a year later. Most importantly, our environment is at stake. You know eventually this will bring many, many more hog confinements to our community. The Des Moines Water Works has already filed lawsuits against 3 rural counties upstream for polluting with nitrates. Will we be next? The future is the result of the choices we make today. It's not too late to change your minds for the good of Wright County. We've seen what DeCoster did to this county. We can do better.
Thank you. Christie, you had a question on when you said insurance, do you mean health insurance, 1 year?
Disability.
Disability?
After 1 year.
After 1 year.
Effect.
I think the health insurance is sooner than that, isn't it? Jerry, could you talk to that?
The health insurance is after your first 60 days.
60 days.
And I'll be honest, I don't know disability. I cannot believe that could be accurate at all, but I'm not in a position to be
Okay.
able to.
All right, I just wanted on the insurance so we knew it's 60 days and they get health insurance, right?
Yeah, if you're hurt, if anyone in the state of Iowa that's hurt on the job is covered by workers' comp, not by disability or by private medical insurance if it's an on-the-job injury, and that's from day one.
Yeah, okay.
That's
so
not our
workers'
rules,
comp-
that's the state
Okay.
of Iowa.
All right, I just wasn't sure on that, so I want to get clear up on the insurance part. Okay. All right, who's next?
Clarence Rowley, and then we'll have Ron Swanson and Becky Bradford.
Okay.
Chairman Lotney and the Board of Supervisors, I am Clarence Wiley, an Eagle Grove businessman. I support the Prestige Food Project. My issue relates to taxes implications. I would like to challenge anyone with the expertise, Iowa State professors in particular, to project and calculate all the taxes generated by this new Prestige Foods plant. Some of the taxes are federal and state corporate income tax, payroll taxes, some of which are employee income taxes, social security taxes, health care taxes, also state, county, and city property taxes, new equipment sales taxes, vehicle registration fees, diesel, gasoline, road use taxes. Bottom line, the tax revenue stream would, in my opinion, far exceed any tax incentives given. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have Ron Swanson, and then Becky Bradford and Kathy Schnell.
Okay. Okay. Ron?
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the opportunity to address the Board of Supervisors this morning. I am Ron Swanson and have recently retired from a 50-year career of farming in Wright County. My father started farming in Nebraska in the 1930s. After losing his crop for a couple of years because of the drought, he thought it might be a good idea to farm where it rains. So in 1943, he moved to a farm south of Gulf with a herd of dairy cows, 2 mules, and I as his 3-year-old son. When I was growing up in the 1950s, I remember the Wright County Monitor had a banner line on the front page. It went something like, Wright County has higher percentage of Class A land than anywhere else in the world. Because of this, we have a region in north central Iowa that has been blessed with highly productive soils and adequate rainfall to produce abundant crops of corn and soybeans. I sometimes think we're a little bit complacent about that. Unfortunately, corn and soybeans are considered raw commodities, and an area that only produces raw commodities tends to struggle economically. I was active in the Iowa Corn Growers Association for a number of years, and its mission is to add value to those raw commodities. Some of these efforts, like ethanol, have been successful, while others, like specialty oil soybeans, have not. But one needs to keep trying anyhow. The key point to all this is the closer you can add value to the raw commodity where it's produced, the more prosperous the region becomes. Since livestock is the biggest consumer of corn, it makes sense to add value to the corn and soybeans where it is grown by raising hogs there as well. Now we have an opportunity to further add value to those hogs by processing them here and shipping the finished product worldwide.
10 seconds, Ron.
Prestige would like to build that plant while it has a big footprint in Wright County. The impact will be much larger region economically. We'll be able to go full circle and capture the benefit of the region's rich natural resources of soil and rainfall, and I think we should give them an opportunity.
All right, thank you, Ron.
Becky Bradburn, Kathy Schnell, and then Brian Kelly.
Thanks, Ron.
Good morning, I'm Becky Bradburn. Like I mentioned last week, I'm new to the community. I've been here about a year and a half. I'd also like to thank the Prestage family for considering our county. I grew up in a small packing town. In 1970, my hometown, there was 8,100 people. In 1990, that had dropped to 6,700 people after the packing plant closed in 1982 when they couldn't resolve union negotiations. When I was growing up, there were 5 department stores, 2 shoe stores, 2 5 and dime stores, and several grocery stores in one community. Now there are 2 grocery stores, there are no department stores, 1 5 and dime, and there's 1 clothing store. Alco and Shopko have left my hometown. Fortunately, Shopko is now looking to come back. I was one of 6 kids. I grew up on the farm, surrounded by ag and livestock. Plus, my dad ran an implement dealership. We were ingrained in farming. Now, 1 out of those 6 kids actually lives on a farm. Fortunately, my brother is still on the Century farm that I grew up on. In 1982, my sister's class graduated 150 students. In 1993, not even a decade later when I graduated, we were down to 100 students. I was the last class of Vesterville High School. The following year, they consolidated with the neighboring school, Lincoln Central. Last week, someone said everyone that had spoken, most everyone, had something to gain. Well, in my book, that is the definition of a win-win if we all gain something. So thank you, supervisors, from at the time. Thank you also, Prestige family.
Thank you for your comments, Becky.
Kathy Schnell, and then we'll have Brian Kelly, and then Brad Davis.
Okay. Kathy?
Thank you for letting me speak today. I want to address the supervisors. You know, if you held these meetings when people didn't have to be at work, you might get more here than just farmers dominating these meetings. I wonder if you also intend to read all the emails that you got opposed to this plan. We heard long and loud about those in favor. I want very much not to see a pig killing factory in our county, and for many reasons, but 2 minutes will not allow me the time to talk about all of them. I believe that Wright County has a serious self-esteem problem. We're the plain girl who never had a date in high school. And then all of a sudden we get invited to prom and our parents are so excited because we get to go to prom. Never mind that our date is a rapist. You know, we get it. We get it that this would bring jobs. We're not stupid. We know people need jobs, but is this the best that we can do? We have a paid professional there that's supposed to be bringing economic opportunity to our county. What does he bring us? No matter what you claim about these being great jobs, are you factoring into this 47,000 the very highest wages, the wages earned by the top people in the company? Mr. Prestige Sr. and Dr. Prestige, are those being factored in as well? Because that would bring up the bottom, those $13 an hour jobs. No matter what the school administrators are saying about being willing to educate students, and by God, they better say that, the fact is that these will be special students. They'll bring with them a bit of money from the state, but how many special teachers will they need to work with them? Some will speak dialects that you have never even heard of, let alone studied. If you have one student that speaks an indigenous dialect, say from Guatemala or Burma, you still have to have a teacher that can teach them.
Thank you for your comments. Who's next, Dave?
Brian Kelly, then we'll have Brad Davis and Melissa Zeiger.
Thank you for the opportunity today. I just would like to reiterate